Chapter 66 Knockout. You are listening at thousand-fold.Audio. In the early morning of the second day, Yang Feng and Wang Lei came to the square of the Hall of Law Enforcement together and waited quietly. A quarter of an hour later, Xuanhuan, the master of the Law Enforcement Hall, came out of the Law Enforcement Hall with a group of law enforcement disciples, looked at Yang Feng and others and said, "I got a high-grade Taoist weapon trial tower not long ago. The interior of the trial tower is its own space, with a total of 7 floors. Each layer of space is extremely vast, like a small cave world, and contains huge energy. These energies will automatically generate energy bodies one by one to attack the experimenters who enter the space. According to my tests, the energy bodies condensed in these 7 layers of space have the fighting power of a monk in the mana realm, yin-yang mirror, heavenly human realm, supernatural power realm, golden core realm, nascent soul realm, and primordial spirit realm. Today's knockout match will be held in this high-grade Dao weapon trial tower. After you enter the trial tower, every time you kill an energy body, you can get corresponding points. When you all come out of the trial tower, the top points will enter the next stage of the ring battle, and everyone else will be eliminated. The points for killing an energy body are as follows. Killing energy bodies in the early stage, middle stage, and late stage of the mana realm is 1 point, 3 points, and 10 points respectively. Kill the energy body in the early stage, middle stage, and late stage of the yin-yang realm, and get points, and points respectively. Kill the energy body in the early stage, mid stage, and late stage of the heavenly human realm, and get 1 points, and points respectively. Killing the energy body in the early stage, mid stage, and late stage of the supernatural powers will get 100 million points, 300 million points, and 1,000 million points respectively. Kill the early stage, mid stage, and late stage energy bodies of Jindan realm, and get million points, and 1 billion points respectively. Kill the energy body of the nascent soul realm, pass the elimination directly, and enter the ring battle. After finishing speaking, Xuanhuan, the master of the Hall of Law Enforcement, waved his hand, and a 7-story pagoda flew out of his body and landed on the square of the Hall of Law Enforcement, releasing a brilliant aura. At this time, the sharp eyes of Xuanhuan, the master of the Law Enforcement Hall, swept across Yang Feng and the others, and after staying on Yang Feng for a few seconds, he said in a flat tone, "Only the standard weapons issued by the sect are allowed in the inner sect competition. No other weapons are allowed. If there is no problem, you can enter the trial tower." Hearing Xuanhuan's words, the inner disciples in the plaza flickered and rushed towards the trial tower. "This is targeting me, I am not allowed to use the Dao weapon." After feeling the eyes of Xuanhuan, the master of the Hall of Law Enforcement, and hearing his special words, Yang Feng shrugged his shoulders helplessly, muttered softly, and flew into the sky towards the trial tower. "Isn't this nonsense? If you are allowed to use Dao weapons, you won't be needed in the inner sect grand competition. You can just take the first place." Hearing Yang Feng's muttering, Wang Lei at the side rolled his eyes, whispered something to himself, and also rose into the air, galloping towards the trial tower. "The space on the first floor is huge, and I'm the only one in 1,000 miles around." Looking at the empty yellow sand all around, Yang Feng sighed softly. When Yang Feng was feeling emotional, an energy man in the early stages of the mana realm was condensed 100 meters away. Seeing the energy man at the early stage of mana realm, Yang Feng waved his right hand, and a sharp sword light shot out from it, easily piercing through the energy man at the early stage of mana realm, causing it to disperse and turn into a little bit of aura. At this time, streams of pure energy surged in the void, and 100 energy people at the initial stages of the mana realm condensed into shape in the void. Xuantian swordsmanship. Yang Feng casually glanced at the energy people at the early stages of the mana realm in the void. With a thought, a long sword, a low-grade treasure, appeared in his palm, and under his actuation, he released a series of the fierce sword light slashed at the bodies of more than 100 energy people in the early stages of the mana realm. Boom! 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 Amidst the clear sounds, the energy people in the early stages of the mana realm were cut to pieces by the sharp sword light, turned into countless auras, and disappeared invisible. Soon, countless energies surged in the void, and 1,000 energy people in the early stages of the mana realm condensed into the void. Seeing this scene, Yang Feng's expression remained unchanged. With a big wave of his hand, the low-grade treasure in his hand waved out, and sharp sword lights shot out from it, easily crushing 1,000 energy people in the early stages of the mana realm. At this time, the energy in the void continued to surge, condensing, energy people in the early stages of the mana realm. However, these energy people in the early stages of the mana realm were killed by Yang Feng's Xuantian Jue just as soon as they were formed. Immediately afterwards, the energy in the void continued to surge, and energy people in the mid-stage of mana realm condensed and formed in the void. However, energy people in the middle stage of the mana realm were also instantly killed by Yang Feng's one move of Xuantian Jue. Afterwards, late-stage energy people in the mana realm were condensed in the void, and were destroyed by Yang Feng's Xuantian Jue. At this time, a beam of teleportation light enveloped Yang Feng, making him disappear in place, and appeared on the second floor of the trial tower. The rules of the second floor of the trial tower are the same as the first floor. First, gather one energy person in the early stage of yin-yang mirror, and then gather 100, 1,000, 10,000. Immediately afterwards, there are energy people in the middle stage of the yin-yang mirror, and energy people in the late stage of the yin-yang mirror. Yang Feng's strength is extremely powerful, and the yin-yang energy body condensed on the second layer is not his enemy at all. After swinging 6 swords in a row, Yang Feng was shrouded in a teleportation light, disappeared on the second floor, and appeared on the third floor. Yang Feng is worthy of being the registered disciple of the suzerain. He is indeed extremely powerful and amazing. Number 1 in the standings, Yang Feng does have the strength and chance to win the championship. Yang Feng has only been an apprentice for more than 3 years, and he has the opportunity to become number 1 in the inner sect competition. It is really enviable. According to Yang Feng's cultivation speed, it won't be long before he can cultivate to the golden core realm and become a true disciple. According to my speculation, if Yang Feng wins the first place in the inner sect grand competition, he should be able to condense the golden core and be promoted to a golden core monk when he bathes in the Xuantian lake. The divine water in Xuantian pond contains extremely huge energy. When transforming people's aptitude and talent, it can also make people break through the realm. It is very precious. Yang Feng is the registered disciple of the suzerain. Once he cultivates to the golden core state and is promoted to a true disciple, he will be accepted as a direct disciple by the suzerain. His status is far higher than that of ordinary true disciples like us. That the law enforcement disciples of the law enforcement hall on the square of the law enforcement hall saw Yang Feng, who was at the top of the test tower points list, and they couldn't help discussing. Their eyes were full of envy and jealousy. Chapter 67. You are listening at thousand-fold.Audio. It's almost there. If you continue, it will be a bit over. After Yang Feng killed 1 late-stage golden core energy bodies with a memorization of 10,000 swords, he muttered softly. Instead of going to the 6th floor of the trial tower, he left the trial tower directly. Yang Feng is out. Yang Feng's ranking in the trial tower points is stable, and it is impossible for others to catch up. According to Yang Feng's points, it can be easily deduced that he killed all energy bodies in the later stage of Jindan. Yang Feng not only has a high score in the trial tower, but also has a fast speed, which is really amazing. Obviously, Yang Feng didn't use all his strength, otherwise he would not have come out of the 5th floor of the trial tower, but the 6th floor of the trial tower. Yang Feng has only been a beginner for more than 3 years, and he can destroy, Jindan late-stage energy bodies with his sword. It's really shocking and unbelievable. Seeing Yang Feng coming out of the trial tower, the law enforcement disciples on the square of the hall of law enforcement and the inner disciples who came out of the trial tower in advance all exclaimed, their eyes full of shock. Yang Feng ignored everyone's shock, but stood at a corner of the square, and turned his attention to the list and data on the test tower standings. Wang Lei actually possesses the strength of the top 10, it's really unbelievable. Seeing that Wang Lei's trial tower ranked 9th in the standings, Yang Feng's eyes flashed with surprise, and he muttered softly. After muttering, Yang Feng stood there, waiting quietly. Not long after, an inner disciple flew out of the trial tower. At noon, the last inner disciple flew out of the trial tower. The trial tower scoreboard was fixed, and the names and points of the top, inner disciples were marked in red. Yang Feng is impressively at the top of the points list, while Wang Lei is number 8 in the points list, causing countless inner disciples to exclaim and discuss. At this moment, Xuanhuan, the master of the Hall of Law Enforcement, took a step forward, read out the list of the top, inner sect disciples, put away the trial tower, informed everyone of the time and place of the third stage of the ring battle, and returned to the Hall of Law Enforcement, and Yang Feng and other inner sect disciples also galloped to the outside of the law enforcement palace in groups of 3 or 4. Junior brother Yang, you are in the limelight today. When you see those popular champions looking at you, they are full of jealousy and envy, and wish they could eat you up. On the way back to Vulcan Peak, Wang Lei said to Yang Feng with a smile on his face. Senior brother Wang, your strength is not bad. Number 8 in the scoreboard, you have a great chance to enter the top 10, causing countless inner disciples to exclaim and discuss. Yang Feng replied with a smile on his face. How can I compare with you? Wang Lei shook his head lightly. During the chat, Yang Feng and Wang Leifei landed on Vulcan Peak, and then discussed tomorrow's ring battle in the living room of the main hall of Vulcan Peak. In the early morning of the second day, Yang Feng and Wang Lei drove towards Xuantian's martial arts field together. Xuantian's martial arts field is the place where Xuantian performs martial arts, and it is also the place where Xuantian's inner school competition finals, true disciple competitions, elders competitions, and Xuantian hold important celebrations. There are many formations arranged around the Xuantian martial arts field, which can withstand the attacks of the monks in the law realm. Xuantian martial arts arena is closed most of the time. Only when Xuantian holds the finals of the inner sect competition, when the true disciples compete, the elders of the inner sect compete, and when important celebrations will be opened. When Yang Feng and Wang Lei came to the martial arts arena, they were surprised to find that many inner disciples and true disciples, as well as elders from the outer sect and elders from the inner sect, had already sat in the auditorium around the martial arts arena. After a flash of surprise flashed in Yang Feng's eyes, he and Wang Lei flew to the center of the martial arts arena, gathered with the top, disciples, and waited for the start of the ring battle. After a long time, Xuanhuan, the Palace of Law Enforcement, brought a group of disciples of the Palace of Law Enforcement to the martial arts arena. At this moment, Xuanhuan stepped onto the rostrum of the martial arts arena, looked at Yang Feng and others in the martial arts arena, and said, the rules of the arena are very simple, that is, 2-2 battles, the winner gets 1 point, and the tie gets 0 points. Losers get 0 points. After the ring battle is over, we will rank according to the number of points. Now, I declare that the ring battle has officially begun. As soon as Xuanhuan's voice fell, the big formation on the martial arts arena was activated, and 50 huge transparent rings were formed in the martial arts arena. A beam of teleportation lights lit up on the martial arts arena, wrapped Yang Feng and the others, and teleported them to 50 arenas. Xuantian swordsmanship. Looking at the inner disciple who was 1,000 meters away, Yang Feng's expression remained unchanged, and with a light drink, the low-grade treasure in his hand turned into a sharp sword light, and slashed towards the inner disciple. Facing the fierce sword light attack, the inner disciple didn't dare to be negligent, and quickly mobilized the mana in his body, sacrificed a middle-grade defensive spiritual weapon, trying to resist the attack of the low-grade treasure. Boom! With a crisp sound, the low-grade treasure that Yang Feng activated easily knocked away the middle-grade defensive spirit weapon sacrificed by the inner disciple, and stabbed the inner disciple's body with undiminished force, making him it turned into a stream of light, disappeared in place, and disappeared without a trace. One sword instant kill, this is too fast. Although Yang Feng is an inner disciple, he enjoys the treatment of a true disciple and can use low-grade treasures. He has a lot of advantages in terms of weapons. Yang Feng has a low-grade Taoist weapon, the Vermilion Bird Sword. Just using a low-grade treasure to fight against the enemy is not bad. That's right. If the inner sect grand competition didn't restrict weapons, Feng wouldn't even need to do anything. As long as he showed the vermilion bird sword, he would be able to sweep away all the inner sect disciples. Even if the weapons are limited, with Feng's combat prowess, he can sweep away all the inner disciples. I bet Feng 3,000 million spirit stones, the odds are, this time I will earn a lot of spirit stones. I didn't bet as much as you. I only have 2,000 million spirit stones. The odds are, I can earn, million spirit stones. Fuck. I bet on other people to win the championship, so I'm going to lose miserably. Seeing Feng instantly kill his opponent with a single sword, showing his tyrannical fighting power, many inner disciples and true disciples on the audience stage began to discuss. While everyone was discussing, an inner sect disciple who was the favorite to win the championship appeared on Feng's ring under a beam of teleportation light. Tornado. The favorite inner sect disciple saw Feng on the ring, his face changed slightly, he immediately roared, aroused the magic power in his body, and fully stimulated the magical talisman in the sea of consciousness, making it flourish. Immediately afterwards, several zhang-long wind blades condensed on the ring, forming 100 zhang-long tornado, sweeping towards Feng's body.